Hi everyone. In today's video we are going to be looking at pole work with our horses. So there's so many different reasons why we use poles for different horses. Sometimes if they're a younger horse, to get them used to seeing poles, thinking about where their legs are. For older horses, even more advanced horses, to get them really flexing and just keep their eye in and again thinking what they're up to and help with their rhythm. And in the horse I'm going to show you today, he's quite a thoroughbred horse, so he likes to see the poles and it helps his brain think where his legs are, and also it keeps his flat work a little bit interesting. He isn't the most accurate horse with show jumping, so through the winter we've really been using loads of poles to just, keep him sharp where his legs are and get him thinking about what he's doing. Okay, so I'm going to put some poles out before I go and get the horse up here. So I'll show you a few exercises that we're going to be doing today. Okay, so I'm going to start with some basic trot poles. Always do 1 or 3 rather than 2, because if you have 2 like this, for example, the horse might be tempted to jump it if it's a younger horse. So we don't just have 2. Okay, so to begin with, simple trotting poles. Want to be about 1 metre or 1 big step apart. You can vary this if you want to close your horse up. You can bring them closer together. Or you can make them a little bit bigger, but you do want to be careful that they're not too long so the horse is stretching. So again, you just see us walking our distances, checking that they're all about the same. And that's trot poles. Okay, so canter poles, I've popped a few out. I'm just going to walk the distance. So it's just under 3 metres or 9 feet, which is about 2.75 feet, something like that. Again, we can always adjust them for our horse. So for Jerry, the horse I'm going to bring up, I want him to collect his canter a little bit more. So I don't actually want him doing big long steps. We know he can do that. So it's always worth, knowing the rough measurements. And if you're not sure, get a meter stick or your measurer. But it's about having eye and seeing how your horse feels as well, and knowing what you're trying to achieve from the exercise. So like I say, with Jerry, we're about to shorten him up. So I don't want these to be a full 9 feet, 3 metres, because he'll just be too long. So walking again, standing in the middle, 1, 2, and quite a short 3. So we're about there. That should be about right, but I might change it as we go to see how he feels. Okay, so now Jerry's warming up nicely over the trot and canter poles. I'm going to start to introduce some really small fences. For him, they are just cross poles. It's more like just raised poles. We're not actually really jumping him. So I've taken away one of the poles and made it to a fence. So this should now be 6 strides. So if 3 being one of his canter strides, it's 2. I haven't left room for takeoff because, like I said, we're not treating this as a fence, we're treating it as a pole. Okay, so we've just adjusted the fences, put some cross poles in. I've just taken Jerry's brushing boots off. In here, they're plastic poles, so they're very, very light. And like I say, Jerry isn't best known for his accuracy. So we just take them off so we know that the boots aren't affecting him picking his legs up. He doesn't really like to feel restricted. And then also, just so he does actually know when he's touched the poles. Okay, so Jerry went down that nicely. He was a little bit quick to begin with, so I just kept my upper body back and let the poles do the work, let them sit him back. So now we've just taken out the other poles, so we've just got one middle pole, and we're going to just let him work his legs out through that. Okay, so you can see we put some canter poles back here, and now I'm going to introduce a very small bounce. Again, we're not really thinking of this as fences, it's more like poles. So we've kept the same canter distance. It is a full up 3 metres now, just to give them a bit more room. So when they do a bounce, they take off, or they land and take off at the same point. So there's no strides between, it's just like a canter pole. Okay, so that was a really short, sweet little exercise session for Jerry. Just keeping his mind on the job. There's so much you can do with these exercises. You can just keep expanding them, and then of course you can turn them into gymnastic, jumping exercises. So you know we could just keep going. But this is just some really basic little bit of pole work. Jerry looks pretty satisfied. He's had a good workout. So yeah, go out and have some fun with your horses. Thanks for watching. See you soon.